I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about
this one's wife, Archie, or not. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Recently, the royal family has had 2 cancer diagnoses, one in relation to King Charles and then also in relation to the Princess of Wales. The Princess of Wales hadn't been seen for some time, although she had to explain why that was. She'd undergone abdominal surgery and was recuperating. As we know, that wasn't sufficient for many individuals on the internet who decided that rather than actually listen to what they were being told, they would speculate that she was having a Brazilian bum lift, that William had assaulted her, or that she'd left William. Yes, that made far more sense. Of course, the reflection, if you will, of disappearances is the repeated mystery around Lilibet and Archie. Those that maintain the children don't exist, those that accept that they do, but suggest that they were born from a surrogate, others that maintain, yes, the children do exist, and yes, this one's wife gave birth to them, but she doesn't want them seen for whatever reason may be, and I have explained to you previously what the most likely reason for that reluctance is. Unsurprisingly, as the world kept talking about the Princess of Wales, that really got under the skin of this one's wife, prompting her to try and draw attention back onto herself with the various PR puff pieces that we've come to know and ridicule, and furthermore with an attempt to suggest that she wouldn't get caught out with a schoolgirl error in relation to photoshopping because she has a freakish eye for detail. Cue lots of instances of photography associated with the Sussexes that is suspect with regard to manipulation and photoshopping. But what also popped up a few weeks ago was a piece of footage which some of you may not have seen. It involves Harry and Archie and someone else behind the camera. Now, immediately, the response, I suppose, ought to be, oh, that's not Harry and Archie, it's artificial intelligence, isn't it? Because that would be the normal reaction of, say, Christopher Boozy to suggest that it's a manipulative piece of footage that's been put out. After all, where is Harry at the moment? Where is Archie at the moment? Well, they're probably doing the things that they do, but if it's fair game to suggest questions about where Catherine is, despite her having told everybody, then why can't such similar questions be asked of the Sussexes? Nevertheless, this piece of footage is interesting because, first of all, there is the timing of its release, designed, of course, to draw attention back onto the Sussexes and away from the Waleses, the typical overshadowing and thunder-stealing activity that this one's wife regularly engages in. But it also provides an opportunity for a variety of questions to be asked in relation to what you're actually seeing, or perhaps more accurately, who you are seeing. I'm going to play you the footage. It's only short, and it appears to be 2 clips that have been put together, because to begin with, Harry's wearing socks and then he takes them off. And so you can see in the second part of it, although if you weren't watching carefully, you might not have noticed the change. So here comes the footage, and then we'll discuss it further.
Ball?
Again?
Ball?
Again?
There you have the footage, and no doubt questions have already been forming in your mind, and I'm sure you'll share them with me in the comments section. Now, we all know why this piece of footage has been released. It's part of the facade management to show the idyllic family lifestyle. Look at us, such fun being had. It's certainly the case that the child is having fun, and the little fellow Archie also. You can hear Archie laughing, and furthermore, Prince Harry is certainly enjoying himself, showing off a bit of footwork skills. However, what is interesting is that this footage was released just recently. Archie's approaching 5. To my mind, that doesn't show a child that is nearly 5 years old. That looks more like a toddler, maybe 3 years old. Now, I profess I'm no expert when it comes to the aging of children, but I do have nephews and nieces and have dealt with other people's children of friends, etc. And he does look rather young there. Now, I suppose one possibility is that this is footage that is some years old and has been released. Maybe. But it would seem strange to do so. Why wait such a long time? Furthermore, what is interesting is, who is it who's actually behind the camera? They don't say too much, but when they speak, is that this one's wife? It doesn't actually sound like it to me, but we can't know one way or the other because the individual doesn't identify themselves, and it would be assumed that it would be this one's wife, otherwise who else would be there with Harry and Archie? What is interesting, and I think of particular note, is, although it's only a short clip, is the dynamic that takes place between Harry and Archie. Archie seems far more interested in the ball than he does his father. He seems far more interested in what the ball is doing and getting hold of the ball and playing with the ball, rather than being involved with his father. Indeed, when Harry attempts to hug him, he's not responsive. Moreover, he looks to pull away from him. He seems somewhat disinterested in him. Now, for the point of context and balance, we're only seeing a short clip, and children may well be distracted by something else and therefore aren't interested in the person that's with them. For instance, they're more interested in wanting an ice lolly than listening to what their mother is saying. They're more interested in running after a goose or a duck than actually interacting with their father. But it is interesting to see that there is a lack of connection there. This might just be on this particular occasion, and in other instances we would see that there is a bond. But if this is, and it's an if this is representative of the way that Archie and his father are, this does demonstrate part of the outcome of the fact that Archie spends so little time with his parents, because, as we have seen, they're away at the Invictus Games, away up in Whistler, they're there at Dusseldorf, they're at The Hague, they're gadding around Portugal, they're going to the Caribbean, they're swanning off to New York, they're going to concerts repeatedly without the children. And this might be the manifestation of such absence, that there isn't quite the bond that there ought to be. As I make clear, we're only seeing a short clip, and therefore it's important to make that contextual point. What's also important to bear in mind is that, where does this leave Archie with regard to his future? Well, given the fact that his mother is a narcissist, there's a possibility that the genetic predisposition has been passed to him. Might it be said that he lives in a lack of control environment? Potentially, because that's what narcissists create. And it would seem that if this is representative of his relationship with his father, who as a potential intervener might inhibit the creation of narcissism in Archie, doesn't appear to necessarily, if it is representative, doesn't appear to be doing a particularly good job, because his child doesn't really pay much attention to him, but is rather focused on the ball. Plenty of questions come out of this footage, and we may not have the immediate answers. But it is interesting to see how the potential impact of a narcissist and her victim with regard to absence relating to their child, and of course Lilibet doesn't even appear in this video, and the fact of that she's a narcissist and how that impacts upon a child, and how an intervener might be struggling to keep at bay the influence of the narcissist over a young child, all of that plays out in front of you. This is why footage such as this, short although it is useful as a teaching tool to prompt the various questions about what you're actually seeing in terms of the nature of the relationship, the development of the child, and where this all fits vis-a-vis narcissism. What do you draw from this clip that you see? What are your thoughts and observations? Let me know in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for watching.